3 keys to understanding the book of Revelation, coming up on West Clouds Rising. Welcome to West Clouds Rising, a site dedicated to biblical prophecy concerning the end of this age. I am Joel Michael, and today I'm going to talk about 3 keys to understanding the book of Revelation. Now, the book of Revelation can be very confusing, no matter how many times you read it. So I want to give you 3 keys that helped me continue to look at the book in the right light and help keep you from falling into certain pitfalls. So the first key I want to give is that the book of Revelation is a heavenly view. Now we see very early in the book of Revelation that John is brought up from the island of Patmos and he's brought into heaven to see these events and write about what he sees. And so what John sees is very different than what we'll see on earth. And a good way to think about this is to compare Matthew 24 to Revelation 6. Now in Matthew 24, Jesus tells his disciples of signs, 6 signs that they will see at the end of that age, which was the age of Torah. Now we know those same signs will come to pass at the end of this age because Revelation 6 describes the same signs in the same order and content as Matthew 24. But they describe them very differently. So John tells us about that first seal or the first sign with this horseman. And this horseman rides a white horse. He has a crown of victory, and he carries a sword for conquering. Now, this is a heavenly view. So now Jesus tells us from an earthly view that many will come in my name saying, I am the Christ, and will mislead many. Now, both are talking about false Christs, but we on earth are not going to see a white horse come down with a sword and a crown. We're going to see what Jesus described, which is people claiming I am the Christ. And so the next key to remember is that the book is largely sequential. Now this may seem contrary to what you read because it seems to jump around, but let me explain this. A good example of this is Revelation chapters 4 through 9 are sequential. And at the end of there, we're seeing the trumpet judgments. And we're told that the last 3 trumpets that are blown are called the 3 woes. Now after the 6th trumpet is blown, it doesn't tell us that the second woe has ended. That doesn't happen until 2 chapters later in chapter 11, where we see these 2 witnesses in Jerusalem are killed by the beast and their bodies are taken up to heaven 3.5 days later. And then the Bible tells us this is the end of the second woe. So what happens is we have these 2 events that are occurring. The end of these 2 events occur at the same time. And so John has to now, but we have no context for these 2 witnesses. So John has to tell us the backstory. So to tell the backstory in chapter 10, this angel gives John a little book and tells him to swallow it and prophesy. And now John can give us, because he swallowed that little book, the 3.5-year history of those 2 witnesses, so we can now understand the culmination events that occur at the end of the second woe. He then continues to do this in chapters 12, 13, and 14 to give us a backstory to the subsequent chapters. Now the third key to remember is that every word matters. This is important because I saw recently someone told me that the trumpet judgments were the same as the bowl judgments. They're the same things. Now this is very puzzling to me. The trumpet judgments, for example, the second trumpet tells us that 1/3 of the sea turns to blood and 1/3 of the sea creatures are killed. Whereas the second bowl judgment tells us all the sea turns to blood and all the sea creatures are killed. These are clearly 2 different things, and if you combine them together and you don't put value on the words that are written there, you won't understand that there's a progression in judgments that's happening throughout Revelation. You'll miss the story by ignoring some of those words and trying to fit the picture into your own view of eschatology. So I hope these 3 keys help. If you like this video, please click the like button. It'll allow it to be distributed to more people. Also, please subscribe. And if you want to read my blog posts, you may find them at www.westcloudsrising.com. Thank you for watching.